Path tracing is possible in Pragmata on your 4060 laptop and desktop, but there's a catch. And disclaimer alert, I only talking about optimization issue I found rather than its visual, character and story, which I believe are amazing. I really want to enjoy Dead Space to protect little Diana as much as I enjoy Resident Evil Requiem, but I didn't. So let's cover everything up with your buddy Benchknight, so let's go. Before showing you the gameplay of Pragmata, I really want you to focus on 3 stats in my Resident Evil gameplay video here. You can see side by side of Leon and Grace's section, where I'm getting around 90 FPS in Grace section and 70 FPS in Leon section, and this is with path tracing enabled without FG on my 4060 laptop on 1080p. And you can see the GPU temperature and CPU temperature are well under the safety limits, but when we go on to Pragmata, you can see the temperature I am getting on my CPU and GPU that are crossing the safety limits. And if you're on the laptop side, I recommend you to ensure that your GPU temperature is always between 80 degree to 85 degrees Celsius and your CPU temperature is always below 90 degree. If it gets higher than that, you know your laptop not going to survive long enough. FPS I'm getting here is with FG on 1080p with DLSS performance, and it's get even lower once we reach to New York area section. So why does this happen? I found 2 main reasons behind it. First, while both games are developed on the RE engine, they are not developed on the same version. Yes, so the Resident Evil Requiem version of RE engine is more optimized to ensure the game runs smoothly on almost all GPUs, whereas the new RE engine used for Pragmata enhances visual in a way that makes the game much more intensive and look amazing. If you haven't bought the game yet, don't expect the same performance you're going to get as Resident Evil Requiem. The second issue feels like an unnecessary choice by Capcom. You see, to get the best visual to performance ratio, you want to use path tracing to make the game look phenomenal, and path tracing is the most intensive setting in this game. But to turn on path tracing, you also need to turn on ray tracing, which make no sense because path tracing already covers what ray tracing does in the game. I mean, I never see any game that use path tracing and ray tracing together. Let me give you a small brief on both path tracing and ray tracing so you can understand the difference. Ray tracing focuses on certain surfaces to produce reflection using fixed or real-time render, whereas path tracing uses multiple surfaces bounces that render in real time to produce reflection based on your interaction. This makes reflection much more intensive and immersive for a game experience. That's clear up why path tracing doesn't need ray tracing to work at all. So giving ray tracing with path tracing make no sense here. As both the settings are enabled together, it put unnecessary strain on both GPU and CPU as it utilizes both, and that's the reason you can see high temperature and lower performance compared to Resident Evil Requiem. If you think you can use RT in this game, let me tell you, RT doesn't look good in this game. It has turn off noise and you can not see the character reflection, which should be possible with RT, but you can do this, and this is same happen with Resident Evil Requiem. If you use RT, you cannot use Ray Reconstruction, which is a denoiser that fixes shimmering or reflective surfaces, and one of the main reasons which make the path tracing look so good, which is not available on ray tracing on both these games. And this denoiser is locked on with path tracing for some reason, and the standard denoiser that come with RT doesn't work well. Only a specific hardware can run it, which make it exclusive for some gamers but not for all gamers. So keep in mind, if you don't have that specific hardware, you cannot run path tracing on your PC. And I don't understand why RT is not looking good as it's supposed to be. Let me show you this game and look at the reflections of this game. Look at how good reflections are on the mirror, on the doors, or even the floor. And this is, by the way, 6-year-old game I'm talking about here. This is Control for 2019. This has way better reflection that a latest 2026 game doesn't have, which make no sense at all. I think they want you to use path tracing to get good reflections, but they doesn't make RT polish enough to ensure that you can have good experience with it. I think that's maybe the reason, and these are the issues that I found with Pragmata. On Resident Evil, I can feel like forgiving because overall the game is optimized and run well with path tracing, but this is not the case with Pragmata. So what are the ways you can use path tracing on this game to ensure you get a stable, smoother experience? So after frying my laptop, I found the best settings for Pragmata so you can enjoy path tracing on 4060 or other similar performing GPUs. Hey, I see you haven't subscribed to me yet, so please consider subscribing because I'm going to show you the best setting for upcoming games on your 4060 laptop or desktop to get the best visual to performance ratio. So before jumping into Pragmata settings, the first thing you need to do is lock the FPS to 60. Yes, you need to lock the FPS to reduce the GPU temperature, which give you stable performance with this game. You can lock the FPS in the NVIDIA control panel by going to manage 3D setting, then program setting, find Pragmata on the list or use the add button to find it. For max frame rate, turn it on and set it to 60 fps, and when you close the app it shows apply the settings and click on save, so these settings will be applied. Or if you use MSI Afterburner, just use Riva Tuner and set the frame limit to 60. Next things you need to do is undervolt the power limit of the CPU. For that, if you are on the Intel side like I am, use Intel Extreme Tuning Utility app, which you can download from your browser. Install it, go to advanced settings, click I agree. You need to change Turbo Boost Short Power Max to 60 watts and Turbo Boost Power Max to 35 watts. This ensure your CPU temperatures stay under control and give you the best performance. So I won't recommend playing this game at 2K with 4060 due to VRAM constraints. Just stick with 1080p using the setting I discovered. These settings ensure you get a smoother experience and FPS drop only happen during loading scenes or cutscenes. Overall, the game runs smoothly all the time without any major latency. So let's jump into 1080p settings. 1080p setting, I suggest you don't need to change frame rate from here. Do it as I told you with NVIDIA control panel or Riva Tuner. VSync, turn it off, you don't need it. Ray tracing, turn it on. Path tracing on, and Denoiser Ray Reconstruction always turn on with path tracing. Global illumination quality is set to high. It is to consume VRAM, but it look good. Upscaling set to DLSS super resolution set to performance. Avoid dynamic resolutions because it is intensive on 8GB VRAM GPU. Frame generation set it to 2x. Now NVIDIA reflex low latency, keep it on. You don't need to put to boost because it affects the performance. Air quality set it to high because I check air quality on medium and high. I suggest stick with high, it's look good. Texture quality, okay, just stick with low 0.5 GB. This is the best you can do with your RTX 4060. Texture filtrations, stick with high NXO 2x or 4x or maybe medium trilinear, because while this is not an intensive setting and doesn't consume too much of your VRAM, but it does cause a minor shutter thing which is not too much intensive. You can use it, but I suggest to make this low so it impact overall performance better. And mesh quality, stick with medium because it consume VRAM intensive setting. Shadow quality, stick to medium, it's look good. Shadow catch, I think you don't need shadow catch. Even without shadow catch, your shadow quality looks good. Contact shadow, turn it on, it's look good. Effect quality, keep it to high because I think reducing that effect quality doesn't look good. High is the best optimal for 4060 performance. Video quality, stick with Full HD because 4K is intensive and consume a lot of VRAM. And when it's come to anti-aliasing, I suggest stick with FXA A plus TA because this is the way to cut down the shimmering around our characters, even though it is not work as effective as it should be, but this is the best anti-aliasing you can use in this game. Ambient occlusion, stick with SSAO because it look good. Volumetric lighting, stick to low because high or medium doesn't make any major impact to the game, and I think low looks good and less intensive on VRAM. And bloom, turn it off, it doesn't look good. Screen space reflection, turn it on, it is very necessary when you use path tracing or everything to make those reflection good. Subsurface scattering, turn it on, is good. Motion blur, I don't think anyone use it, turn it off. Lens flare, it doesn't look good, turn it off. Less distortion, turn it off, don't need it. Depth of field, turn it off. And these are the settings I recommend you to use. Make sure you have at least 1.5 GB or 2 GB of VRAM spare to make the game run smoothly without any major stutters. While there is still a major stutter when Diana use her special attack, other than that the game runs smoothly. So if you enjoy this video, are looking for the best visual to performance ratio for upcoming games, please consider subscribing to my channel because I always test upcoming games and even make gameplay videos to show you how my settings perform in game. Until then, see you next time.